Okay, moving on with a few more from 15.4. You want to solve these logarithmic equations. And what I tell students is that sometimes things don't look very easy in logarithmic form. And if you can remember that if you can't see things in logarithmic form, maybe switch it and look at it in exponential form, and then the problem might make sense to you. So we already know how to switch this out to exponential form. What I can do is drop my base here, okay? And then remember that these switch sides here. So what I get is something that looks more familiar here. I get 4 to the third equals x. And then that looks pretty easy. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. We have 64 equals x. And voila. Next, this might not look very familiar to you in logarithmic form, so I'll switch it out to exponential form. I'll take the base here and write x, and then switch the sides on these, so I get x to the second equals 49. And then what I can do here is I can take the square root of both sides. Okay, and what we'll end up with then is x is equal to plus or minus 7. But what we're going to learn, I guess, right now is that if you try to do this negative base logarithm on your calculator, it doesn't work, and we can't do negative base logarithm. So we have to rule out this negative answer, and we just end with x equals 7. Here we'll switch this out of log form. It looks a little weird at first, but we drop the base off, and the base drops down at 3. And then I'm going to move this x to this side. Okay, remember we're taking this over to here and this over to here, so I get x to the third equals, or 3 to the x equals 3 to the negative 3. Now just look at this for a second. How would we make these equal to each other? Well, this x would have to be negative 3 for these two things to be equal to each other. And what you'll start to do probably is a little kind of a solving method is just cross out those bases like that, and we end up with x is equal to negative 3. Now, if you look at this, back here we ruled out the negative answer, but that was because it was going to be a negative base logarithm. Okay, there's no rule against us having this negative 3 here. Okay, it's not going in as the base of a logarithm. Okay, so that's okay. And then here we drop the base off, which is 5. Okay, then we're going to move this over and this over. So I get to the negative third equals x. And then what I like to tell students on this is kind of think about what do you do with 5 to the third? Okay, well we know 5 to the third equals 125, right? Okay, so when it's 5 to the negative third, what we get is 1 over 125, because that negative exponent rule is going to cause it to go to the bottom of a fraction. Okay. All right, that's some solving.